I'm standing outside BC Place, the site of Sunday's Grey Cup game between the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Toronto Argonauts. It's the 5th straight time the Bombers are playing for the Grey Cup, but they're looking to put back-to-back losses in the CFL's big game in the rear view. But before all that, the CFL Awards are happening tonight, just down the street at the Vancouver Convention Centre. And that's where Winnipeg Blue Bombers running back Brady Oliveira is nominated for a pair of awards. Brady Oliveira grew up watching the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and now his play on the field with the team has earned him the CFL's top individual honor.
And Gavin, what have you been seeing and hearing from fans so far?
Well, Brittany, as you can probably see behind me, fans have converged here around the Vancouver Convention Centre. That's because there's a lot of things like activities and fun things for people to do. Some of those include team parties. There's even a zip line that's been a popular attraction. Now, earlier today, we spoke to some fans here about how they're feeling and who they're rooting for ahead of Sunday's game.
Last night, I want to touch on this. Some history was made. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's right, Brittany. Winnipeg Blue Bombers running back Brady Oliveira won Most Outstanding Canadian and Most Outstanding Player awards. That makes him the 4th player ever in the league's history to win both of those awards in the same season. He's also the first Manitoban ever to win the CFL's Most Outstanding Player award. Now, Oliveira says the success he's having with his hometown team is a bit surreal.
So, Gavin, the Argos and Blue Bombers making their final preps for tomorrow's game. What's happening at the stadium right now?
Yeah, so right now in the stadium, the Toronto Argonauts are on the field. They're going through their final walkthrough before tomorrow's game. The Bombers are going to hit the field a little bit later in the day. And around the stadium today, it's just sort of like the night before Christmas, but in football terms. Like, we've been watching a lot of the stadium workers here driving back and forth. I was in the elevator just a little while ago with someone carrying canola oil to put in all the fryers in the building. So everyone from the field level to up here in the concourse are getting ready for tomorrow's big game.
And so, Grey Cup Eve, that's what's going on today. What will you be watching for when both teams hit the turf tomorrow?
Well, I think what everyone is going to be watching for is at quarterback for Toronto, Nick Arbuckle is starting in place of the injured Chad Kelly. And whenever you have a quarterback go in that's not the starter, you kind of wonder, are they going to go to the air? Will they maybe use more of a ground attack and run the ball more? And how will Nick Arbuckle perform? It's a pretty high-pressure situation to be thrown into.
And for a look at what's happening at BC Place, we're now joined by CBC's Gavin Axelrod. Gavin, with just a couple of hours to go, tell us what's the atmosphere like where you are?
Well, all week long here in Vancouver, it's been a party, and today is basically the grand finale of all that. The fans of both teams, the players on both teams, they're looking for something to celebrate, and you can probably see behind me, tons of people are milling about here. They actually just opened the gates right before we went live here, so people are filing in. There's a lot of excitement. There's a couple tailgate parties that are happening here, and I think one of the most interesting thing is that it's not just Winnipeg Blue Bombers fans and Toronto Argonauts fans here. There's fans from all over the country. You're seeing tons of different jerseys from all the teams in the CFL. There's even some NFL teams being represented here, and I think the overwhelming feeling here is that people are just looking to have a good time, and they're going to party it up like the year 3000. That's the Jonas Brothers reference. They're going to do the halftime show, and yeah, everyone's just excited, and they're ready to get this party started here today at BC Place. It's the Argos' 8th Grey Cup victory over the Blue Bombers, and the road to redemption begins again for Winnipeg. One that just might end with a championship celebration on home turf in 2025. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Vancouver.